Good afternoon and thanks for joining us right here on Midday Kentucky. David Goldman back in for Lisa. Hi today.
No, listen, it's Friday. You know I roll on Friday with my crew.
Yeah, he's saying I'm in for Lisa today.
I just wanted to see how we felt about being in Lisa's seat.
But we do
because you're normally in your seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Katie's in today, everyone. Now, Katie is off to Romania at 3 o'clock.
I'm off to Amsterdam.
Who's in? Oh no, that's that other dreadful woman who's in Romania.
Kim.
See, it's on the top of my head.
Yes.
You're in Amsterdam. Sorry.
Yes, I'm
And
in
tell
Amsterdam
everyone
and
what you're going to
Paris.
be doing there.
I'm doing a half marathon.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then just, roaming around, taking the train to Paris then for a few days.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Would you like to tell everyone how long the marathon is?
Well, I'm doing the half marathon, so it's 13.1 miles.
That's crazy, Katie. I mean, but respect. Like,
You can track
so
me
proud of you.
online
Oh,
to be
we
sure
in-
that I'm doing it.
We
They do
in
it live.
Midday Kentucky is going to track everything that you do.
You'll be on there for a while, though, because it
What's
takes
your
you a
goal?
really long
What's the
time.
time frame on that? What's your goal?
I run about a 10,
to get
30
to it.
miles.
To get
so,
to it.
Between 2:10 and 2:15
That's
is
awesome.
my
Well,
time.
look,
2 hours.
I think it's amazing, and even though I play with her, I think it's amazing that you're actually going to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
but what's the typical thing one does in Amsterdam? Is it beer?
I think it's the Heineken tour.
Is
or
it
something. Maybe that's it.
Instead of that, you're going to be running.
Probably get
Yeah.
some coffee
got
or
you.
something.
Find some $6
Well,
something.
we also need to give a shout out to Miss Lisa,
Yeah.
whose kitties are all sick today. Thank you, Lisa, for letting me know point by point on what was coming out of their mouth. I didn't need to hear any of that.
We're thinking about you.
Yeah. You just stay there, doll.
Right.
It is. So I want to start off the show, everyone, and we're talking all about, we're flipping the curtain a little bit. Tell me what you think
Okay.
about this. A designer suit label put out a series of racy ads featuring women in suits, but with naked men beside them, I should say. Various sexy poses, as you can see. Now, we also blurred out their backsides. The dominant position with women posed in sexual and submissive positions. What do you think of this new ad campaign? This is about...
It's for women's suits, correct?
Yes, it's for women's suits. But there's been a lot of backlash saying it's subjectifying men and that it's wrong.
I think it's odd, but I don't think it's wrong. I think,
Katie,
we see this all the time reversed.
What'd you just
And
say?
plus, I would like to look at that.
Did you just say subjectify away? Is that what you said? Keep it going?
I would stop on that page.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
But what would you be looking at? The suit or the man?
I would probably be stopped. I'd look at the man, and then I'd be like, she looks great. But they would catch me with the man.
Okay, but here's the other. Okay, well, let me put this to you, David. Is that women are subjected by being put into lingerie
Right.
or semi-nude or whatever. The basis is now you're subjecting men to the same ridicule.
Yeah.
But is it time that it's okay for men? But I've never seen in a fashion mag a woman completely naked.
What?
In
Wait, so
fashion-
they are
in a
showing them
fashion
completely nude?
Yes.
Oh,
Look
No,
at it. She
I
got
put,
all excited.
no, I put those little black, our
you're so
directed,
modest.
just to make everyone at home not feel
I think
we're
we
being a
have
bit
seen
naughty.
women,
Okay.
though, Troy. I think we've seen it.
In
time and
fashion
time.
magazines?
maybe in your
Yeah, in fashion-
magazines.
Listen, no, I'm talking about like if you're looking at Vogue, like
Okay.
they take things pretty far where it's like
Yeah,
But
you're
they're
right.
not naked.
maybe it's see-through, potato patata, okay?
yeah. Well, we do see that a lot where women are nude. Wait, what? Anyway.
I think that works. I'm just saying.
Where you don't see everything, but they are nude. They'll be like covering themselves with
Yeah.
their hair, but
there's
they
a
are
lot of
nude.
tushes.
Yeah.
Well, look, okay, let me put that forward about, as an example, who was the Demi Moore that was naked on the cover of Vanity Fair, but she was pregnant. And all the other stars, female stars, did that. I guess the internet's gone a bit crazy because now they're saying the men are saying that they're being subjectified and they've outraged over it.
Well, I would say I'm equally outraged by that as I would of a naked woman. If I was going through a magazine and I'm not expecting that, I don't want to see a naked man or woman. So I view it, I guess, the
Well,
same.
look, can I just say something? I'm going to be honest with you people. If I had a body like that guy, I'd be walking around this studio naked.
We'd have you in one of those photos.
I
in the
wouldn't have an
window.
issue.
Yeah.
I'd do nude news.
Well, watch out. I guess we're going to have a new show on this.
You know, I have to say, I think I'm guilty of some of those thoughts where we think we
Exactly.
see someone in maybe an inappropriate outfit, you know, like a crop top where you think they should be more modest. But then I always think to myself, if I had those abs,
See?
you know,
Yeah.
I might wear that too.
And I'm glad you're being honest about that because,
know?
you know, people might sit at home and go, oh, Troy's a bit naughty. That is a fact.
Like
if
those
I had a.
people look great.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Doesn't
show it
mean that
off,
we,
show
you
it
know,
off.
yeah, I'll be taking this body altogether. I'll tell you about that. Okay, so Katie, you put in an interesting story regarding a family that was booted off a plane yet again.
Yeah, this was interesting. This happened a few days ago on Southwest. This family says that they were kicked off their flight because their young children were misbehaving. And I kind of wanted to pose this to you guys to say, where do you think that line is? If a child or family, they're screaming and crying before they get on the plane, does the airline, do you think they have a right to ask you to take another flight when you can calm them down? Should they just be able to get on the flight already acting like that?
Oh.
What do you think?
I love what they did because, you know, like I can't stand kids that misbehave. If they asked them, you know, once or twice, maybe third time, and they were like, listen, if you don't do something about this, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Because can you imagine getting on like a 8-hour flight with a bunch of crazy kids?
I hope that doesn't happen.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Bad
I
luck
was
for Friday the
wait,
13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I
Katie's
would.
gonna be there.
This is not a good story for you today.
No, I'm horrified.
I think it leaves a really good option. Whoopi Goldberg from The View has often said that an airline should have a mother and children airline or a plane available, and they book the kids so they can have friendly, you know, time in the sky.
Right.
And I actually think it has a little bit of merit. Do you know what I mean?
Especially those long flights.
Yeah, those long flights. You think about me going back to Australia, just from LA, it's 16 hours.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't think of anything worse than having a screaming kid beside me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I would say, luckily, I mean, I've been around
Some screaming
some
babies.
screaming babies, but it's never
Every
been,
day from 12 to 1.
Yeah. It's never been like the entire flight. And actually, I've never felt so annoyed in the circumstances I've been in because you can tell the parents are mortified and they're
yeah.
doing everything
Yeah.
to calm them down. And usually maybe 5 minutes and then it ends. But I don't know. I kind of see the airline's point if this was happening so much before they got
they
on the
were
flight,
bad,
offering to let them get on another
little
one.
monsters.
But I just always feel bad for the parents too because they're just so
I have
embarrassed.
to be honest with you, I reckon David would be dreadful on a flight.
Yeah.
And he's an adult.
Hey, that would
Yeah,
be me
that
on
would
the
drive
flight.
me insane.
You really know someone when you see how they act on a plane.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm flying by myself.
Respect.
Good job. Good job. David, you brought up a conversation about men and postpartum depression. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Well, you know, I came across this story, and men do go through postpartum depression. It's some of the experts have really seen that it's one of those things where with women, it's usually triggered by hormones. It's triggered by you know, they haven't slept at all for like days. So it's kind of typical, but they've seen that American Journal of Men's Health just put out a study that showed 13% of men go through postpartum. So they have a
Along with their wives.
well, along with their wives, but kind of on a different pace, a different area. Like you'll see where they might get a little bit violent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So and it also shows that they'll really go through like the workplace and they'll be a little bit more driven. But friends have seen it. It really started with the article started with a man who called his wife and was basically having a panic attack because he was going through it, and she didn't understand why. And they seeked help, psychological help. But you know, have you guys ever seen this? Have you all, you know, ever had a friend, a woman
I think
that
I
you've
go
seen?
through it every day.
You know, I haven't, but I think that this brings up a topic we've talked about before, that men aren't given the same things that women are when they have a baby.
Right.
Well, I know many women still struggling to get this still, but that's maternity leave and things like that. And I like companies that are now moving towards paternity leave and offering
men.
resources for men, because a lot of times we think about the woman and even friends reaching out. They, how's mom, how's this, which understandable, but I think maybe sometimes that's a big change for fathers too, and they're not given that outlet to maybe say, you know, things aren't okay, and maybe they need a little help. So I kind of like this study coming out showing this is real, and you know, they're just as much a parent as the mom,
Yeah.
and I think that both need to be taken care of. I'd like to see more paternity leave options in the workplace.
Well, the study really
Maybe
brought
not
up
as long, but
it brought up the fact that so many times men are going through the crisis of this isn't always about me now, where it's like this is different. You have to be a little less selfish, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's hard to cope with sometimes, especially when you're not getting the attention from the wife either. So I know that, again, that sounds selfish, but men are freaking out about it. They're like, she's...
But that's because you're not getting attention isn't postpartum depression, though.
Right, but it triggers the emotion response.
Oh, okay.
So
I
it's
got you.
just one of those things I think we need to be aware of.
I think we in America more so because in Europe and Australia, men are allowed to have maternity leave. So your wife can be home for 3 months.
Right.
And then after your wife goes back to work, you can then have 3 months off.
I think that's great.
So
That
you
is
can
great.
have one of the parents home for a minimum of 6 months. Now, I'm pretty sure you don't get paid 100% of your salary.
Right, but I think there'd be some
I know
option.
some of my team that had been with me for years and years that I used to pay them because I wanted them back. But, I thought that it was always a good way to have both parents at some point within that first year at home.
I think
it
that's
works.
great. Oh, I think it's great.
Okay, something that I thought was really interesting. A bromance is a strictly straight, close relationship between
Okay.
two men. For example, George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Can we just type up the little prompter for everyone, please? Brad Pitt. Well, a new bromance study has come out and saying bromance is more emotionally rewarding than relationships with their wives and girlfriends.
What?
Hey, listen, this is a touchy subject, but I see some truth and validity.
Do you?
Yes, because I have some really close bromances
And
with
this
some
one,
friends.
I bought this up today because you were here. Because it wouldn't work for the 3 girls normally.
Well, no,
You're
but-
not a bro, Troy. No.
No, but I have some really close friends, two
Okay.
particularly I talk with like daily. One I was talking today, I was in the shower, like we were talking about our days and our lives.
Hold on. You were in the shower talking to him on the
I
phone.
was getting ready for the show, Troy, okay?
But you were
Just-
Wait, but
talking
where
to him
was
on
your
the phone.
phone?
I was asking, it was in the shower. Waterproof, you guys need to switch over to Android. I'm just saying.
Your
but
bromance is out of control.
Troll.
listen, I asked him if I could stay tonight, and I wanted to make sure that I could crash at his place because we're going to a wedding. And I was like, hey, bro, can I crash at your place? And I went to Europe with him and a bunch of guys. Don't judge me over there, Troy.
I am fascinated because very different to Australian bromances. But continue.
But it's somebody that like I know that if something happens, I can depend on him.
That's nice.
But he's also kind of best friends with my fiance.
Well,
so
do you
that
have
is
a brother?
close.
Well, hold
I
on.
don't have a brother.
Do you think that happens more with men that don't have a brother? Because what you're describing, it
No, I'm
seems
gonna-
like he's more your
I'm
brother.
going to tell you.
Okay.
The study says that experts found that men felt less judged by their close male friends than their girlfriends. They also found it easier to solve conflicts and speak openly about their emotions in their bromance. Of the men, 28 out of 30 said they would rather discuss important emotional issues with their bromatic partner than their girlfriends.
Well, the
Well, that's because
judgment
they
thing.
don't want to seem weak.
Boom. Touche,
Oh,
Katie.
really?
She is like,
Yeah.
are you like a man expert over there?
Don't even say what you're about to say.
Look, there are so many if you were sitting in this studio, everyone at home, which you almost are, there are so many one-liners that I could throw out right now, but I'm going to hold back, okay?
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. I have a group of buddies back home in Australia. They're all straight. I was the only gay guy in the group. And every Wednesday night, we had bromance date nights.
Yeah.
And it was just all the boys, and every Wednesday night, we went out for dinner. And we'd have some beers and dinner. They'd all talk about their girlfriends and the issues or whatever. But we actually talked more about our personal issues.
Yeah.
Not really that much about the girls. All they would say, Katie did this to me the other day and blah, 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 blah. And our mates would help each other.
Yeah.
I actually think bromances are great.
Oh yeah, me too.
Do you know what I mean?
I love
And
it.
I think we solve more in bromance relationships than what, don't hate me people at home, than what sometimes the girls can. Because the guys don't get as emotional about it.
Well, I think what you're bringing up, the emotional issues, I think women
I know.
have more of a tendency to go to their romantic partner about that, where I
Yeah.
think men try to hide that because they want to seem strong and powerful. And of course, that's not all men.
Again,
but
I'm just impressed
What I
right now.
noticed
But don't
with
you have a
friends
good
is
cry?
that
You know,
I'll cry all the time.
I don't think I've ever cried. I'm very tough, Troy. All right.
Says the man talking on the phone in the shower.
Listen, I just wanted to make sure we had a
What
place
do you
to
prop it
crash.
up on? Do you have a
I have a
cell
little
thing?
stand.
Yeah,
in there.
don't even do
Oh,
it. It's
boy.
too much. Hey everyone, we are joined by musician Mark Bell when we return. Back after this short break, everyone.